First of all, um, if anything, I just want to say thank you, God. And I'm saying thank you, God, because I'm able to see things for they are, at least for now. I don't know how long I have till I can do that. And as long as I can target video, I will make so many videos. And I don't care if it says the same things. But it needs to be said, it needs to be put in the air. Because the truth is, I understand that my life is fading away. I will be that voice of logic for once in my life. And I will enjoy doing that. Not even that, and it's not logic, it's more like understanding that these people wanted to paint a false reality, and I have no problem to put the reality they want to escape from. I'm so thankful I got to see all I need to see. This trash, the foul low life that they are, still try to paint a facade that is comical. They even compromise retarded ass children. Excuse my language. I don't know what to call these people. Because they're children, but they're adding even extra spectrum onto that. And I love the fact that they have compromised people that shouldn't be compromised in this fashion. But it's okay. Let me just say, Target Video, I have no concern for them. The parents chose to be used in this fashion, and they utilized it and compromised their retards. That's what I call them. You see this video is called Divine. It's because they look for what they can to vilify you. I've been gaslighted by people who wanted to present a facade of what this is about. I've been destroying the facade, and I've been finding pleasure in doing that. Because people who live the nasty thing they're part of it is disgusting to present the facade they're presenting. I don't know what kind of retardation they want me to be on, but I can never give them that. The second I start hearing what they do to women, to children, that moment, that's when I understood what this shit deserves. Whoever partake in this. So I find the pleasure of putting reality in the faces of people who've painted this facade of what they wanted to present themselves as. Can you imagine being involved in what you're going to hear, the testimonials, and try to find ways to vilify me? And vilify somebody, anybody, and then come up with the facade that they're presenting. You know, I'm currently employed by Perps, but I was already a Target Video. I made videos since July of 2020, way before I started working at where I'm currently working. I've been aware of what's happening to me since around that time. When I started hearing testimonials, it get worse and worse and worse and worse. When I thought it couldn't go any worse, when I didn't think they're going to be that vulnerable, the Target Video got more vulnerable and the torture got worse. At that second, I was like, these people deserve things that maybe I'm definitely not capable of doing. But what's most disgusting is like how they're trying to paint the facade. They are dismissing the torture of women, the atrocity they're going through, being involved in the program where they involve themselves too. But when it comes to me, they somehow want me to look at them as these Avengers. Trash, you nobody's an Avenger, you're an opportunist. And the gimmickiness is magical. I'm not perfect, I know who I am. First of all, they manipulate my brain in this disturbing ways, but I made a lot of videos about that. This video is about this person called Divine. When I was in college, there was this girl that I used to somewhat have I mean, we weren't dating, but it was more like hooking up. We had sex every once in a while. It was not every time, but every once in a while we did. One night she's like, hey, I wanna hang out with you. She brings a backpack, and it seems like she wants to stay the night or something like that. I'm like, okay, well, this is somebody which in the past we have slept together. So I'm like, okay, well, it's gonna be a night of us sleeping together. Excuse me for my language, but I'm going to be specific. I just want you to understand what they try to paint. So we go home to my apartment in college. Things get a little, sexual. She tells me, hey, put a condom. So, okay, well, I think that's okay. It's going there, right? As it's gone there before. Things get a little, and then I'm like, okay, I've started to see if she's interested in sex. I mean, she asked me to put a condom on, so I'm imagining there's going to be sex going on. So I'm sure you know, seeing she's interesting, doing like some teasing or some kind of to see if she's interested in. She's like, oh no, and I'm thinking, okay, she's just kind of playing a little bit hard to get, not hard to get, but she's just maybe like, if I continue a little bit, she could just, she's just kind of playing a game here. And then I looked at her face, she's like, oh, she's serious. I'm like, okay, I stop. She's super excited. Say, hey, yeah, so what do you want to do? You want to talk? And I'm like, so you came here just to actually sleep here, just to sleep? I'm in college, okay? We're not talking about the most like, oh, I want to spend quality time with you. I'm a college student. The girl that we usually have sex decide to come to my place, sleep, and doesn't want to have sex. I'm kind of like frustrated. Not even frustrated. I'm like, okay, she's nuts. Okay, I'm trying to come up with an idea. What can I say to make her go home? I'm like, you know what, actually, I gotta go sleep. I have to wake up and do this and that. She's like, no. It's like, well, she doesn't say no. She's like, no. And I'm like, I try to make her leave. And I become insistent. I'm like, listen, I'm not in, like I have to study and this and that. She's mad. She's really mad. Right? She got to put her backpack. I drive her. She go get out of the apartment. She's mad because I'm asking her to leave. She wanted to stay the night. Her anger is because she wants to leave. Now this perps try to be like, you see, why did you wait a little bit to before you realize that she actually meant that she, I'm like, first of all, this person was mad about leaving my apartment. But you gotta understand, these people, what they're involved in, it's like they want you to forget the reality of what this is about and what they're involved in. I'm not going to change it. And they try to deflect. Oh, but no. Can you imagine? These people are involved in what you're going to hear. And they want you to forget the reality of what they're part of. And to start like deflecting, they talk about, oh, they're going to arrest you because they're going to frame me. Listen to this trash. They're like, we're heroes. For the fucking trash. Listen to what they're involved in. They have no, and I'm in a call, and they're bringing that up, and you see this perp that been trying to present the facade. Oh, so disgusting. To me, I've seen the reality of some people. I see how people can create. It's disturbing to see who can be a fraud, and it's not always who you think. The most rational, sensible, appearing person can be the most bullshitter you can imagine. And I think this person is one of them. Well-spoken, very sensible sounding. And then when she talks, she starts making herself sound in this way. I'm like, oh my God, she's such a fraud. You're such a fucking fraud. It's so disgusting. The same person that, the manipulation of what they make me experience, like this stimulation, this is part of the things. They even vilify me on what they make me experience. But when they try to just vilify me on things like this with Divine, and I'm hearing these people, this person, at one point, it's obvious that the entities running this program, we're talking about the Department of Defense, have issues that have been consistently disturbing and pedophilia-centric. That's why a bill was created in 2019. She had the audacity to try to say, oh, it's so long ago. It's so long ago. It was a year before I started working here. 2019. Long ago. As soon as she said that, I was like, this person has no limit of how foul and fraudulent she can be. As they bring up this thing and try to create their narrative and create, oh wow, is that what you choose? We're like, what? She started being more vocal. I'm like, oh, you trash us. Because now you want to present yourself. Because what they have created is a facade inside of like some kind of female adventures. Because when they're involved in a program that you're going to hear what they do to women, it changes what this is about. It changes what it does to women. It is so disgusting. They have used a facade and based on gender, thinking that the gender, because listen, male are involved in it and they try to do the same thing. Oh, not yet paying, we trash us. Listen to what they do to women. They try to block that out. I was like, but damn, it's different. This woman gets on the call and she thanks them. I thank you for your effort. And you can hear her voice try to sound like a voice of just like, thank you so much. They involve in a program that torture women in the foulest ways you can imagine. And the children too. They are foul low life. And this trash is just hyping this low life involving a program that they clearly know torture women. Some of them have partaken in that. She knows that very well. And she's trying to sound in this like sensible, like honorable way. I could never let them live that fantasy. I can't do that. I can't. Target individual. Listen to what they do to women. For Divine, like I said many times, anybody to bring up, I hope Divine never put in this program where her life would be destroyed. This trash out here calling themselves heroes, Avengers, are involved in what you're gonna hear. These opportunist bottom feeders that come up with their stories. Anything they can try to use to make you think like they're just avenging now you pay. Trash, you are burning genitals and cutting vaginas and suffocating children and doing all these horrible things. And then come to talk to me about now you pay. Trash ass. All these horrible things. I'm so thankful on TI Day 2020. I was like, hey, this is happening to women, men, and children all around the world. And you hear women and children all around the world saying the same thing. To counter that, the effort, I guess, that she's been thanking them for is the effort of countering reality. Oh no, you can. That effort is useless effort. Reality's gonna come one way or another. I understand reality for me is I'm a target individual. I'm a test subject. The government is using me as a guinea pig, like so many others. And the reality is horrible things are gonna happen to me. But the reality for this bottom viewers is just based on the efforts. They'll get some reality coming to them. Today, they're gods, bottom feeders. they are the bottom feeders, but calling themselves gods. They understand why they're doing these things to my body. I can do nothing about it because they're involved in a program that does these things to even babies. I reassure you, especially those retards that they use to frame me, or they want to use to frame me. Oh my gosh, the bright future waiting for them is magical. But I'm gonna be a prophet for them. I've been a prophet. And when I'm saying I'm a prophet, I'm obviously being comical. No, I'm not a prophet. Yes, it's obvious that people involved in what you're going to hear, then try to present themselves in this fashion, then have their children compromised in this fashion. It's not hard to imagine them having something coming to them in their life. Call it karma, call it the universe, but it's as obvious as it gets. And if you saw them in person, it'll be even more obvious. Target individuals stay strong, but listen to what they do to women and children. But sorry, let's stick to women. For Divine, listen to what they will do to her if she supports this program, as they play the feminist, fierce, femme fatale. Trash ass. Target individuals stay strong.
So they'll say, we're the Russian government, we're the Chinese government, we're evil aliens, we're Satan's. So they'll say, we're the V2K. So they'll say, we're the Russian government, we're the Chinese government, we're evil aliens, we're Satan's, satanic ritual abuse. And I've heard all these stories. One guy believed it was some 14-year-old kid with an Xbox that lived next door. The trickery really is that great when you're under hypnosis that people will believe something other than a massive government could do this.
It's already being used. I mean,
if you talk to the victims, the TIs, one of the worst breakdowns, and it's pretty common. I think I can say the word simulated rape. and forced orgasm.
You can say anything you want. This is the internet.
Okay. And so simulated orgasms and rape is extremely common, and especially violating for women. They complain about that torture breakdown the most.
You feel that you've been injustice?
You mean as far as the Justice Department feeling me?
Well, in terms of your being a victim.
You mean what I'm feeling?
Yeah, explain a little bit to me how you perceive yourself as being.
Well, I have actual photographs of burns on my body. When I went to my doctor, the response was, "How do I know you didn't do that to yourself?" How do you even address that? I've passed 2 psychological evaluations, not 1 but 2. The one physician said, "You're mentally sound as a bell." He said, "I don't have any idea what's going on with you." When I go to sleep, when I go to try to sleep, I feel like I'm being lit up like a Christmas tree. I feel every cell in my body just bouncing out of my body. I can't even describe it. I get electric shock of my rectum. I get electric shock up my nose. I've woken up with burns on the end of my tongue. I've had burns on the palms of both of my hands. I vibrate. I vibrate. I can barely hold a piece of paper without quivering. Does that answer your question?
I'm trying to find what's the source of the...
The source are these exotic weapons. They talk about in 2976, but if you would pass it, it might give other communities the courage to do the same thing and show our Defense Department we are not the enemy. We are not to be attacked. We are not terrorists. Most of us are defenseless women. The next speaker.
Hello, my name is Kimberly Buckner, and I have been a targeted individual for a very long time. The things I have experienced due to being targeted, they have been unreal. But however, I can personally attest that this is very real indeed. My life has been destroyed in every possible way, and every day has been a struggle for me. I'm very grateful to be before you today due to Amy Anderson's due diligence and to everyone else involved. I thank you, council members, for giving us targeted individuals a chance to speak and to be heard. And I pray that these atrocities will soon be brought to an end. But we need your help. Thank you.
Alex?
Military medical research. I too believe my experience is referred to as no-touch torture, utilizing defense technologies. Jonathan Marino, he basically predicted all this a number of years ago in his book Undue Risk. I'm asking you to help initiate a congressional investigation. We've all come a long way. This is what is needed. We want to have the accounts of this extreme human rights abuse that's going on in our country documented and heard, all of the accounts. We also need what was done during the Clinton administration, which is a major declassification of some of these documents that are hiding what's been going on. I speak for many when I say we've suffered long enough. My personal experience has been 10 years. I've been vilified. I've been ostracized. I've been tortured. I have burns on my body. I'm an American. I have rights. The answer to the question, the big question today, could it happen today? The answer is yes, it is happening today. It is happening for some of us every day. I am begging for you to help us. Thank you.
I'm kidding.
Hello, everyone. My name is Leslie Crawford. I'm here from the state of Michigan. I wanted to speak about biotechnology applications being utilized on my person. I have medical reports showing eye damage being done to my eyes. My eyes does not have a mirror image. I also have nanowiring inside my eyes. I have pictures of the actual implants from the eye doctor. Once enlarging the nano implants, you will see a copy of the actual particles in my eyes. I have CAT scans, MRIs, and PETs showing wiring, nanowiring in my head. This is my brain. It's straight from the right side to the left side of my head. I also have implants in my chin, in the chin region on both sides. One side shows a wire, the other side shows the actual implant. Implant particle devices coming down through here. Projectiles of the nanoparticles on the side of my head. Enlarged pictures. These crimes is happening in America. This is a domestic problem, not only international. The victims is not being just victimized individually. We are being victimized and our family members as well. Gang stalking tactics and harassment was utilized to implement us into this program unconsensually.
Leslie, I think your comments reinforce much of what we've heard. And if you don't mind, I'd like to make room for others at the microphone now, since it seems to be reinforcing. Juan, I'd ask you to pick somebody, this gentleman right here. Yeah.
She's been waiting.
I'm sorry, who's been waiting? Oh, yeah, please.
Okay. My name is Eugenia Durden.
I'm sorry, Eugenia?
Eugenia Durden, yes. Everything I've heard from this commission and this panel about ethics, they were mostly talk about pharmaceuticals research, but I haven't heard anyone talking about a psychotronic weapon research, a bioelectromagnetic weapon research. Who in this panel are familiar with a psychotronic weapon? Raise your hand, please. Who of you know about psychotronic weapons? Any one of you? Psychotronic bioelectromagnetic weapons. Are you familiar with that?
Not at all.
No? Okay. In this audience, is anybody familiar with a psychotronic weapon? Okay. Okay, the audience is familiar with that, and I think that in order for a panel or a commission to be able to help this problem and this issue, we'll have to have more knowledge on what psychotronic weapons are. I am physically leashed from my neck to the electromagnetic power of one of the weapons that is being used against me. I get tortured day and night. At night is with nightmares and all kinds of dreams that I don't want in my head. And throughout the day is my body. They prod with my neurological system, so they do anything to my body. Sometimes it's painful, sometimes.
My name is Dr. John Hall.
In a way, I'm very sorry to address you like this because I think that what you're doing is very admirable. But I'm here to represent this other group, and I am also targeted, and this is my story. My name is Sandra Field. I'm an architect, recipient of Who's Who of Women in America Achievement Award. and have run a successful business for over 28 years. My life and livelihood have been compromised for the last 11 years by being attacked by electromagnetic radiation torture and by organized stalking. I cannot live in my rent-stabilized apartment in New York City as a result of this torture. I'm currently staying in motels and friends' houses in the last year. Thousands of Americans are currently suffering from chemical, electromagnetic, psychological, and physical torture with no government relief or laws. Our servicemen, prisoners, and thousands of unknowing, innocent civilians are currently being lamed, tormented, and tortured as a result of military research, medical research, pharmaceutical research, physiological and psychological studies that have virtually destroyed participants' sanity, physical well-being, reputation, and privacy.
And the plan is that Mr. Juan Chuck back here will be, has the list of folks that will be offering comment. Hi, Ms. Lewis.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Cassandra Lewis, and I'm a targeted individual from Baltimore, Maryland. My story may sound disjointed. I'm trying to keep it within the minute and a half. I worked as a legal secretary at Hogan & Hartson in Washington, D.C. It is now called Hogan Lovells. Attorney Jan McDavid made a client mistake that she tried to blame on me. I then refused to work for Ms. McDavid. Shortly thereafter, strange and inexplicable events occurred on my job, and after being fired, followed me to my home and to all my travels. Attorney Christopher J. Hagan, formerly of Hogan & Hartson, Mr. Samuel Conrad, he's a retired security administrator of Hogan & Hartson, and Robert Johnston, who is the current firm administrator of Hogan Lovells, are responsible for my targeting. I believe to protect Ms. McDavid's reputation, a phone call was made. To whom and why they did this to me, I truly just speculate. Gang stalking and harassment was used to implement this non-consensual biotechnology application that is being used on me. I now experience involuntary limb movements. I receive stingings. I get pains to my head, to my abdomen, to my vaginal area, and to my anal area. I am receiving...
Mrs. Marshall?
Good afternoon. My name is Connie Marshall. I'm a former mayoral candidate from Louisville, Kentucky. I have never been involved in any criminal activity.
Electrocuting my genitals repeatedly. I also experience what is referred to as malo. Anything electronic. They have even locked me out of my office building that uses an electronic key. It is often very difficult and an immense battle just to even sit on the toilet to go to the bathroom. Not only because of the bowel and bladder manipulation, but also because of the frequent severe sexual assaults on the genitals, my butt and anus, shaking, vibrating, and rocking my body back and forth, and forced eyeball movements, and phantom touch sensations doing rubbing sensations, etc.
I was going to be shot in the face. And it was an older guy. He was like really, really disgruntled and pissed off. Yeah, you're going to get shot in the face. You know, sound like an angry ass old person. You know, then a couple of days later, a female said the same thing. Don't get shot in the face. You know, stupid shit like that. But what I really noticed is with the Voice of Skull, it's a bunch of females. You know, and I'm like, bro, really? You're not a woman.
Literally. The private parts of my body were being burned and my breasts are removed. And it's the trauma from it. it's not being able to cope with the pain and the emotional trauma that comes from someone harming me. using, I guess, remote medical technology is my best guess. I went and saw a dermatologist. Hey, I just woke up after a pretty rough night. The same thing happened last night as the night before, which was whenever I was trying to go to sleep, the private parts of my body began being burned again, and it felt like someone pushing out stream. I can feel it's going to be the same again today. Already on the harming of the private parts of my body. I don't really know what to do. I tried to go to a doctor to get some kind of pain medicine because what actually happens to me, a lot of strange things. I've been doing some research, I guess what it's called, organized stalking. I'm called a targeted individual. But the abuse last night was pretty extreme. I can feel it's going to be the same again today. Already on the harming of the private parts of my body. I don't really know what to do. I tried to go to a doctor to get some kind of pain medicine because what actually happens to me, what is happening to me is my actual physical body is being burned. And so it causes me to go into shock, and it's excruciatingly painful. And I have my limitations on the duration and length of pain that I can handle. So it was a couple of weeks ago, I tried it. I don't know if the government has the right to watch and the proper in a lot of capacities of the things that I've faced. So today just just feeling some pretty general fear about my own safety, because the government's burning the private parts of my body. Sometimes it feels like a laser or like pins and needles, like a tattoo. Sometimes it feels like a sunburn. All of that today. This morning, it's like not even noon yet here, and already I'm experiencing the pain and the harm to my body, to the private parts of my body.
And focus on the people you love. You know, I was lucky enough to have my mother, who was going through the same thing that I was going through. They started like that. But it is what it is. The only thing you can do is stay strong and focus on the people you love. You know, I was lucky enough to have my mother, who was going through the same thing that I was going through. They started saying all kind of crazy stuff to her, her jobs, and
and I am a victim of organized stalking, electronic harassment, microwave torture, V2K abuse, and I'm asking you to help us end this crime against humanity, which has impacted men, women, children all around the world.
Hi, I'm Wan from Malaysia. My family are targeted individuals. We are victims of cyber torture. And I will not give up. I will fight to the end.
And I'm a victim of organized
We
stalking,
need this to stop.
electronic
That's it.
harassment, and I'm speaking to you on International Targeted Individual Day. I live in the U.S., in Illinois, and I'm a victim of organized
We
stalking,
need this to stop.
electronic
That's it.
harassment, microwave torture,
I've been targeted for 9 years.
24/7.
please become more aware of this crime and those that the crime is being committed against. We need your support and help in ending this crime.
Hello, my name is Wendy Brown. I'm a targeted individual who is living in New Zealand, but my targeting began in California. I'm an American citizen, and the targeting continues in New Zealand. I'm making this video in remembrance of Targeted Individual Day, our third annual Targeted Individual Day. And I'm asking that every honest-hearted human being open their eyes to a crime.
My name is Jeanette. I am 56 years old and I live in Baltimore, Maryland. I am a victim of covert electronic harassment and torture. I am a targeted individual.
Hello. Why? Because it hurts. I need help. I need you guys to come get me. It's brutally painful. I have a house, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms.